Boo. Everybody 6 feet away from me back there. Hi. Welcome. My name is Matt Reitz. I'm the Executive Director of Madison Audubon. I always like to thank you for helping me get out of my home office, away from my computer, and get out in the field. We are out today at Otsego Marsh, one of Madison Audubon's properties, and also wanted to share a little bit about a new property we just purchased right across the street. I also want to just start with beyond the welcome, is just to introduce some of the folks that are here with me today. We have not seen each other hardly at all since the coronavirus broke out, so it's really nice to get together safely. We're all wearing masks, of course, and standing 6 feet apart. But it's hard to see everybody here, but if I can do introductions from, I guess, left to right. This is Brenna Marsacek, who is our communications director. This is Mark Martin, the land manager at Goose Pond Sanctuary. Becky Abel, who is our new director of philanthropy. Caitlin Schuchart, who is our communications assistant. This is Carolyn Byers and her son Jay. Carolyn is our director of education, who does all those wonderful online videos. And this is John Minnick, our financial manager. So it's nice to have our team out here today. Mark has been sharing a lot with us about the history of the property and the natural resources that are out here. We have, I'm going to turn it over to him in a little bit just to share a little bit more about what is out here in the property, and also a little bit about the new property that we just purchased here. Well, I just want to reiterate too that it's so nice to have you out here with us too. It's like you are here with us, so it's thank you for being here. Otsego Marsh is a really beautiful property. We purchased Otsego. We actually received Otsego Marsh in the 80s. It's a beautiful wetland piece. Let's see if I can show you here. Let's just reverse this, I think. Did I just pick it up the tripod, Brenna? Pick it up? Let me see if I can show you this here. So there is the open water across the street. That's Otsego Marsh proper. And then over here is where you will see some more wooded areas. There's a lot out here. There's a lot of habitat. And we're seeing a lot of birds out here and a lot of different kinds of wildlife. We have been having a good morning enjoying all that we are seeing, including, it's a little skewed, but including, we saw bald eagle earlier. There are tons of red-winged blackbirds around that are yelling at us because we're close to a couple nests. Common yellowthroat, there's a willow flycatcher that's singing over here. Becky spotted a gigantic brood of Canada geese that's out on the open water. We're hearing cardinals and robins and killdeer, turkey vulture. There's all sorts of birds out here. This place actually hosts a lot of different nesting species. Mark can share more about that, but and then we're seeing lots of different kinds of plants and animals out here too. There's leopard frogs and all sorts of croaking frogs, and there's a bunch of amphibians that are out here. Obviously it's a wetland, and lots of different kinds of plants. Most of them on the restored side are the native kind. The stuff on the new purchase, which is 36 acres that's behind me here, is not native stuff. So there's some cropland right now. There used to be former cornfields. You can see some stubble back here. And this season it's going to be planted as soybeans. But we'll have some restoration work that's going to happen on that piece that in the coming years that we hope will be involved in. There's some invasive species out here like reed canary grass, but this is a really nice wetland piece that will add a lot to the existing Otsego Marsh property. So we purchased this, we closed last Monday. Purchased it from a wonderful family, and it's 36 acres that has some wetland habitats that I'm sitting right on the edge of. It's going to be a really wonderful piece, both for wildlife habitat, but also for the hydrology of the region. And then behind me it transitions into more upland fields. So there's going to be some sort of wet areas in here, wet marsh prairie, moving into prairie, and then there's a forested area up in the corner that we're going to do some restoration work on. So there's some pretty fun, we're having a great time out in the field today. So let me just show you a couple things that we have seen. in addition to the deer flies that keep landing on me. I also was for the dragonflies that are out here because they've been picking off the deer flies that are landing on me. So Jay, who is in Mr. Eagle Eye, where is that crayfish, Chimney?
Chimney building crayfish.
Let's see if I can show you this. Oh, rotate your phone. It doesn't like it when I do that, huh? So take it out. What do you think, Brenna?
No, don't do that.
See that? Don't turn it. This is that. Okay. This. Can you see this? So that's the mud chimney of a crayfish that has been excavated and is dug into the ground.
Like a prairie crayfish.
Like a prairie crayfish. Pretty nifty. Great sign of a wetland. Mark, you put in on a couple different plants out here.
All the sedges out there, 12 to 15 types of sedges right around here. A lot of them are short growing right now, like you see right here. It looks like a relative of the fox sedge. Soft stem bulrush. There's rushes out here. There's some soft stem bulrush flowering. There's a few cattails coming. Here's the favorite host plant of the monarch butterfly, the swamp milkweed. And this will produce probably a lot of monarchs out here this year. There's Iliacris, but a lot of good sedges out here. This is just moist wetland right now.
Great. Well, I'm going to bring this back to where we were, and then I'll just say a couple words. I'll turn it over to Mark. You know, a little bit about the plans for the new people on with this new property. So we're really fortunate to have this piece. It is about, I don't know, say 10 minutes northeast of where Goose Pond proper is. Sorry. Just a fabulous piece of land that is open to the public. You're free to come out here and visit and walk the property. There's some trails that run around through the woods and along the open water in the marsh. Our plan here, we purchased this property, it came up for sale, and we thought, well, this is going to be a wonderful addition to Otsego Marsh. It will both protect the existing property, but also really add amazing wildlife habitat and experiences for people to come out and enjoy nature. It will require work. It required us to spend some money too. So we were very fortunate in that we, when we purchased the property, previous donations from people like you provided some seed money that allowed us to respond to the availability of the property. So people who had donated for land acquisition, we were able to tap into some of those resources that we had to purchase this property. So we've applied also for a NAWCA federal grant for wetlands protection, and we have a generous donation from Mr. Jerry Martin that's really a lead gift, so that we can raise some funds to fill those coffers again for land acquisition for this. We purchased land for this property, but we really need to be able to respond in the future for other purchases either around Otsego Marsh or Goose Pond or Fable Grove, or other places where we really need to be able to respond to opportunities for land purchase. So we will be asking for your generosity in helping us fill those coffers again, so that we can be able to respond for the benefit of birds and for people. So I want to turn it over real quick to Mark, who's going to tell you a little bit more about Otsego Marsh and things that are out here, and then the plan for this wonderful new piece.
Matt, can you look at the comments quick and see if there's any questions?
No comments. Cool. Looks wonderful. Thanks for the compliments. It is wonderful. Please come out here.
Okay. Thanks, Matt. What we have out here in 80 acres currently owned by Madison Audubon is Hawkos Pond, a prairie wetland, and on the new property that was just purchased, there's the west part of Hawkos Pond. We can't see the open water from where we are here. We got the pond of about 35 acres, nesting hood mergansers and wood ducks with a lot of boxes, maintained by volunteers. 35 acres of oak, hickory, hardwoods, bur oak, white oaks, shagbark hickories, and the previous owner who donated the property in the 80s planted white pine, which are towering above everything right now, and red pine and some other trees. He was a forester. And we also have by the parking lot a real good stand of walnuts coming in and a small red pine plantation. On the new property out here, which we've got about 5 acres of really wetlands, and then we've got 7 acres out here of farmed wetlands. So when it was dry,
Can you move over a little bit here.
when it was
There you go.
when it was dry in the past few years out here, where we're standing was cornfield, and with the high water now, the wetland plants are in the seed bank, and so they're emerging like all the sedges and rushes in that. But you can see in the distance we have about 20 acres of cornfield. It's in soybeans this year, but it was in corn last year. And then we've got the woods, about 4 acres plus of woods, bur oak, some red pines again, and hickories and that. The plan is for the cropland is to restore it to tall grass prairie. There's no nesting habitat out here now for grassland birds like meadowlarks and clay-colored sparrows and common yellowthroats in the grassy, and same with mallards and blue-winged teal. We hope to have them nesting out here. There's nesting pairs, but they have very poor nesting conditions. And we plan to have a management hiking trail with a real nice 20-acre tall grass prairie that'll come up by the woods and circle around for you to enjoy. One thing that'll also benefit from the restoration up here are turtles. There's Blanding's turtles out here, snapping turtles, painted turtles, and I'm not sure about soft shells. I think they're here too, but instead of having the cropland crop, the turtles will be able to go up and nest in the sandy soil of the prairie restoration. And
Mark, look at the camera so they can hear.
okay, and what we've got out here, we looked at the real short wetland species. On the edge of the farmed wetlands, it's drier than that than what it is where we're standing. We're going to do some wetland restoration by there's a little sediment in here from runoff, and we're going to make a little bit more open water for the frogs and toads. We've been doing counts out here since 1984 for frogs. We've got wood frogs, uncommon in southern Wisconsin, leopard frogs, spring peepers, chorus frogs, two-tree frogs, green frogs, and toads. So it's really population of frogs. The species have maintained themselves basically as they were when we started the count, when Sue and I started the count in 1984. So it's good, and we're going to go into the woods, there's some garlic mustard in the woods and buckthorn, and make it more into an oak savanna. We should have on the property we own now, there's nesting pileated woodpeckers and red-headed woodpeckers, and we assume over on the property we're standing on we'll have red-headed woodpeckers nesting in that small woodlot in the future. Anything else you can we're going to also, in some of these areas in the farmed wetlands, scattered reed canary, and our land steward at Goose Pond, is going to come up with Tanner very shortly and start spraying these really scattered clones of reed canary to keep them at bay. But this is an interesting area. 2 years we got it's not been cropped for 2 years. A lot of good wetland species out here though.
Yeah.
So, and the prairie also serve as good migrating habitat for monarch butterflies in the fall. Right now it's all cornfields around here formed in nectar. They'll be able to stop here, refuel, and head south again. So.
Great.
Okay, thanks.
Well, we're probably going to wrap things up, but I wanted to end with two things. One is to, I really want to thank Jerry Martin for his lead gift in getting us started on fundraising for this property. We would really invite you to spread the word or donate yourselves to help us pay for this piece of land and be able to respond to other land opportunities. Brenna will pop a link into this feed, but also you can go to our website and donate there and make sure that you say that it's for Otsego Marsh. we're also going to need to raise funds to pay for management of this place. You can also send a check, of course, to Madison Audubon to help us with this. Look for more information about it in our newsletter. We really would appreciate your help on this. The second is really an invitation. So we are out here enjoying this piece of land on a beautiful day. We invite you to come out here whenever you are available to safely, of course, see this beautiful property, enjoy the wildlife that's out here, enjoy the benefits of being outside. So, and that goes for the Otsego Marsh, which is across the street here, and the new piece. There's some parts to enjoy here and some beautiful vistas. So, thank you so much. Anything else?
There's a hiking trail from the parking lot.
There's a hiking trail from the parking lot, which is right across the street on Old F. You can park there and you can walk through the Otsego Marsh property. So, thanks again for being with us. Be safe. Enjoy this beautiful day. Take care.